Well, finally, spring has arrived here in Chicago. A nice day at the ballpark. The Cubs are home for a 9-game homestand. It's the Hyundai leadoff man on WGN Sports. Today, the Cubs host the Cincinnati Reds, a first of 18 meetings between these two teams. Hi again, everyone. I'm Len Casper. Welcome to the leadoff man. The Cubs returned home late Wednesday after a series win over the Dodgers, off yesterday, and they start a pretty important homestand here against the Reds, who won the division last year. The Cardinals come in next week. They're leading the Central, and then the defending World Series champion Giants also come to Wrigley next weekend. Let's take a look at the highlights of the final two games of that series in Los Angeles. The Cubs needed to win both to finish a winning road trip. Ryan Dempster got off to a rough start on Tuesday night, but a strong finish. He got a no decision in a pitcher's battle with Chad Billingsley. Carlos Pena in the 7th inning, down 1-0. Finally hit his first home run as a Cub. That tied the game at 1-1. It would go to the 9th when Giovanni Soto would crank a 2-run double off Blake Hawksworth. The Cubs would add another run in that 9th inning. 4-1 the final. Then on Wednesday, Carlos Zambrano going for his 10th straight win on the road. Throwback day, the Cubs wearing their 1944 road uniforms, the Dodgers their 1940s Brooklyn unis, and Z was very good. Off Ted Lilly, his former battery mate. Giovanni Soto with a home run in the 5th inning to give the Cubs a 1-0 lead. Top of the 6th, off the lefty Lilly. Pena with home runs in back-to-back games. They wouldn't be done yet. Marlon Byrd with his first of the season. This one a big 3-run shot. 5-0 Cubs. They would finish the game winning 5-1 in the road trip at 4-3. You see the batting average not great, but the Cubs hit 10 home runs, a big trip for Alfonso Soriano. We'll hear from Mike Quade coming up, but as we go to break, our Chicago and Northwest Hyundai dealer spotlight reminds us to check out the award-winning Hyundai Sonata and the all-new Hyundai Elantra at myhyundai.com. The Hyundai Leadoff Man, brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Check out the award-winning Hyundai Sonata and the all-new Elantra at myhyundai Chicago. Over 500, couple of veteran pitchers trying to make their way back to the majors. Todd Wellemeyer rebounding from a hip injury. Left-hander Doug Davis now with Daytona. Possible he could be here at some point. Michael Brenly with a 4-game hitting streak, 2 hits as the DH for Daytona. The Cubs are 20-8 in the Florida State League. Well, the Cubs lineup is a changing process just about every single day. And like Lou Piniella, Mike Quaddy's having trouble getting young Tyler Colvin into the lineup. The left-handed hitting Colvin has struggled early on, and here's Q on when we might see him back in that lineup.
You know, it's tough. I mean, when guys struggle and other guys are playing well, it's a tough mix for guys. But we'll look real hard. Not out of the question that with Arroyo going tomorrow, but we're going to take a look at it. You know, both he and when Pena was struggling. I mean, you've got guys that are hot around him, Bruce, and you know that. And it's on my mind constantly. And we need to find some kind of way to get him involved. But you can't do it at the expense of guys that are playing well.
Let's try and win a ball game today. And you know how the game is, Bruce. I mean, streaks, whatever. Let's just play well today. But again, it goes back to should be of no surprise. We got 4 or 5 quality starting outings that kept us in the game, and we hit. And we should put together wins when that happens.
Does anything about this division surprise you, or did you figure this was going to be a crapshoot all the way?
You know what? I'm not a prognosticator or whatever. I mean, I look at the division and feel like if we do what we're capable of and if we improve, that we can compete here. If somebody gets off to a quick start or a slow start, but we know how good the Cincinnati club is. They proved it last year, and they're young, and they've got the same group of people back. And we know how good the St. Louis Cardinals are and Milwaukee's. So I figured it was going to be a dogfight, and I don't know, how big a dogfight. I don't know who emerges from this thing, and we certainly don't know that right now, sitting here early May. But it's a chance for us to find out as a club right now where we're at with this group, and make our adjustments if we need to, after we see them.
Cubs start the day in 4th place, 3 games back of St. Louis. Time now for Bob's AutoZone tip of the day. Today, take 3 as the Cubs look for their first 3-game winning streak of the year. The tip of the day brought to you by AutoZone. For the auto parts, accessories, and advice you need, get in the zone. AutoZone. In a row against the National League West, during which they went 8-10 8 of their next 11 will be against their own division, the NL Central. Now the starting pitchers for today, right-hander Matt Garza will go for the Cubs. 51 strikeouts, no home runs allowed in almost 39 innings. He's pitched a lot better than his record has indicated, coming off his first win as a Cub. And the opening day starter for the Reds, Edinson Volquez, if he gets through the first inning, he really gets tough. No wins over his last 3 starts. So it'll be the Cincinnati Reds and the Chicago Cubs. All these games should be important here in 2011, the first of 18 between Dusty Baker's Reds and Mike Quaddy's Cubs. It's all coming up next. From the corner of Clark and Addison in Chicago, we kick off a Mother's Day weekend of Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. The Cubs are home for a 9-game homestand. It won't be easy. 3 tough opponents, beginning with the defending Central champion Reds. We welcome Cub fans from all over the country watching on WGN America, America's home for baseball. Hi again, everyone. Along with Bob Brenly, I'm Len Casper. The Cubs just completed a nice 4-3 road trip. They won the final 2 games in L.A. And, Bob, some of the Cubs' high-paid veterans really came through.
Well, some of the guys continue to do what they've been doing through the early going of the season. Some guys that haven't been hitting for power started to swing the big bats. Soriano just continues to knock the ball out of the ballpark every time the opposing pitchers make mistakes. Zambrano very steady. It's hard to say that about Carlos, but he's been very steady since the second half of the season last year. And Marlon Byrd with a home run in L.A. swinging a hot bat right now.
It's been a while since the Cubs didn't face the Reds at all in the month of April, so they get them here in early May. It's been kind of a middling start for Cincinnati, but they've dominated the Cubs lately.
Yeah, they've done extremely well against the Cubs in every facet of the ballgame. They've pitched well, they've run the bases well, they've hit homers, they've played great defense, they've outscored the Cubs. So this is going to be a real challenge this entire homestand, but especially these 3 games.
And we know about the Reds' offense. They rank second in the league in runs, and here are the big 3.
The big 3 in the middle of that lineup, Votto, Phillips, and Bruce, and they have a very nice complementary cast around them. They do a lot of things well. They hit for power, they hit for average, they run the bases extremely aggressively.
Scott Rowland is on the DL, so obviously not available this weekend, and Paul Janisch, their shortstop, playing third today. Let's go down to the field and our national anthem.
Special guest to Wrigley Field. Specialist George Alex Carbajal was deployed to Kuwait last September with the 1244th Transportation Company. Specialist Carbajal transferred to Afghanistan, and while there, he learned that he has a brain tumor. Specialist Carbajal was medically evacuated and recently returned stateside. At this time, the Chicago Cubs would like to take this moment to thank Specialist Carbajal, along with all our service men and women, both in this country and around the world, for their selfless dedication, courage, and sacrifice in protecting our freedom and defending our great country. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay standing. Kindly remove your caps and join John Vincent as he honors America with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched was so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free? And the home of the brave.
John Vincent with our national anthem. Edinson Volquez for the Reds and Matt Garza for the Cubs, going for his second consecutive win next. Budweiser Select, full flavor, 99 calories, the exception to the rule. Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball and your Chicago Cubs. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Ford, the newest vehicles on the road are now at your local Ford store, like the all-new Ford Explorer, SUV, 100% reinvented. Visit localfordstores.com. Ford, drive one. And by the Illinois Lottery. How does $1,000 a week every week for the rest of your life sound? Then play Cash for Life instant games from the Illinois Lottery. The longer you live, the more you get. Chicago Cubs baseball in beautiful high definition is brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. And we honor all the brave men and women serving our country and watching us on the Armed Forces Network around the world today. And so glad you could join us. Cubs need to play better baseball here at home. They have dropped 5 of 6 in 3 straight. But coming off a 4-3 road trip.
Hey, Len, we want to let our fans know that the AT&T U-verse viewers in Chicago, during every Cubs home game this season, if you go to channel 780 or high def channel 1780, you can see a special multi-view presentation that shows you all of our different live camera angles right here at Wrigley Field. It's pretty cool. So if you want to direct the game along with Skip Ellison, give a look to AT&T U-verse channel 780 or high def channel 1780.
And today, Dave Turner is sitting in that director's chair as the Cubs take the field behind veteran right-hander Matt Garza. Let's get Dusty Baker's Reds lineup. They've won 2 in a row, but struggling since a 5-0 start. They're just 11-15 over their last 26. Stubbs, a veteran, Renteria at short. Joey Votto, the reigning National League MVP. Brandon Phillips goes from 2 to 4 in the lineup with Scott Rowland on the shelf. Jay Bruce is in right. Johnny Gomes in left. You have Ramon Hernandez off to a very good start. Normally the shortstop is Giannis, but he moves to third today. And Volquez, the pitcher, still looking for his first hit.
Check out how the Cubs take the field defensively behind Matt Garza today. Brought to you by Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball and your Chicago Cubs. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Soriano, Bird, Fukudome left to right across the outfield today. Ramirez, Castro, Barney, Pena from third to first across the infield. Giovanni Soto will be doing the catching today for right-hander Matt Garza. Coming off his team-leading 4th quality start last time out, his first victory of the season was really good against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Went 8 strong innings, gave up only 6 hits, struck out 10. His second double-digit strikeout game so far this season.
Check out the umpiring crew. Vic Carapazza filling in this weekend. He's at home. Jerry Lane, the crew chief, at first. Bob Davidson and Hunter Wendelstedt will round it out. Quaddy's team comes in at 14-16. 4th place, 3 games back of St. Louis. The Reds are 16-15, just a game and a half out. And this is the only game in baseball this afternoon. Everything else is later tonight.
And right into the fire for Matt Garza. Drew Stubbs, not your prototypical leadoff hitter in that he will hit home runs. 5 bombs already this season to go along with his 10 stolen bases. One of those rare combinations of speed and power plays tremendous defense in center field for the Reds.
Garza facing Cincinnati for the first time. And we're underway. That caught the outside corner for strike 1. A wind in the 0-1, swing and a miss. 64 degrees, which I would think is pretty normal for May 6th. A northwest wind, so that's technically a cross breeze at 11. It'll be left to right. Stubbs pops it up. And again, every ball like that's going to carry just a little farther than normal as Fukudome makes a catch.
And the wind should help balls hit the right field a little bit. Maybe will knock down some balls hit the left field. And equally as important, foul balls down the third base line will probably blow back into play. And on the right side of the field, probably blow out of play.
As long as Jim Tianis doesn't blow off the top of the scoreboard, we're in good shape. He's got that camera right above the NL board.
I think he's safe. I saw him putting some rocks in his pockets before he went up there today, so a little extra ballast.
Here's Edgar Renteria. Big time postseason producer. World Series MVP last year. Swinging bunt, and he's out. Nice play by Giovanni Soto.
Well, that is a split-second decision for Giovanni Soto to decide whether to let that ball roll and hope it goes foul or scoop it up quickly and make the play at first. And this time Gio makes absolutely the right decision. Renteria was a little slow getting out of that right-handed batter's box, and that gave Soto an opportunity to throw him out.
Brings up Joey Votto. He has reached base in all 31 of his games to start the season. Longest current streak, 3 games short of the Reds' modern record to start a season. Davey Collins back in 1981 got on his first 34 games. His career best in that department's 41, and that streak last year was broken here at Wrigley Field. He got kicked out in the top of the first inning by the home plate umpire, Angel Campos. Garza's 1-1 is taken high, 2-1. Votto can hurt you, and he has hurt the Cubs big time a lot in the past. Foul tip, and it's 2-2. Led the league last year in OPS over 1,000. So that 17 home runs against the Cubs.
Going way inside.
And he got him to chase it. Garza goes 1-2-3, and the Cubs are coming up against Edinson Volquez. Game against the Reds brought to you by Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of MLB, and your Chicago Cubs. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. See, Alfonso Soriano leads the majors with 11 home runs. Bird his first on Wednesday, and Carlos Peña's homered in each of his last 2.
Take a look at the Cincinnati Reds defensively today. There are 12 errors pacing the way in Major League Baseball. It'll be Johnny Gomes, Drew Stubbs, and Jay Bruce across the outfield, left to right. As Len mentioned, Paul Janich moves over from his shortstop position to fill in for Scott Rowland at third. The veteran Edgar Renteria at short, Brandon Phillips at second, Joey Votto over at first base. Ramon Hernandez doing the catching today for right-hander Edinson Volquez. Take a look at his numbers on the season, coming off an outing against the Florida Marlins when he threw 5 strong innings, gave up only 2 hits and a run. However, pitch count tends to be an issue for Volquez. He's walked 24, struck out 35 in 33 1/3 this year, running that pitch count up extraordinarily high early in the game.
One and nothing on Kosuke Fukudome, who's hit a cool 500 at home this season. It's a fastball at 93 for a strike.
We'll see a fastball, curveball, changeup combination. Actually, more changeups than curveballs. That's his best pitch. Fastball sits in the low to mid 90s.
Just missed that time. Like just about every other team in the division, the Reds battling the injury bug to start the year. They just welcomed back Homer Bailey to the rotation yesterday, and he beat the Astros. Johnny Cueto will come back on Sunday and pitch in the finale of this series.
And if you watch Volquez throughout the afternoon, he will pitch almost exclusively away to both righties and lefties, and rarely doubles up when he does come inside, which means if he comes inside on one pitch, you can look away on the next one.
Full count to Kosuke with Darwin Barney on deck. And a line shot right at Renteria for the out. Comes Barney. Last month's Rookie of the Month in the NL. And a strike, 96 that time. You can email us at lenonbob@tribune.com. Please join our Facebook page and Twitter as well. Good breaking ball, and it's 0-2. Volquez is an opening day starter for the very first time. And again, the first inning has been a major problem for him. Breaking ball didn't break. 1-2.
Now Volquez throws his curveball extremely hard, sometimes up into the low 80s. And occasionally when he does try to overthrow it, it doesn't have enough opportunity to take the break. That one stayed up and in, nearly clipped Darwin Barney.
Fastball low. We've seen his fastball between about 93 and 98 already here in the first inning. Over his career, according to Fangraphs, he averages about 93.5 to 94 miles an hour with it. Swing and a miss, he gets him on a changeup.
I mentioned it before. That's his best pitch, his out pitch. Certainly has a good fastball with a lot of life, but just a devastating straight changeup. He'll throw it in any count to any hitter. Righties, lefties, makes no difference.
The subject of the Sports Illustrated cover story this week, Starlin Castro. And it's been a struggle here lately. 6 for 42 over his last 10 games. A Starlin is born, the article by Albert Chen in SI. Certainly encourage you to read it, but a couple of interesting things I pulled out of there. The earliest World Series that Starlin Castro remembers. Care to guess?
I don't even want to know.
2003, when he was 13, the Marlins and the Yankees. Mike Quaddy talks about a young shortstop in the Oakland organization. There's the cover of SI. Miguel Tejada. Back when Quaddy was managing at Double-A in the A's chain. Now, he said they're very different players, but, quote, what they have in common is the desire and willingness to learn. (3-0) on Castro, and a big part of the article is about how he swings the bat a lot. 3-1.
Yeah, I think if there was one area of Starlin's game you'd like to see improvement would be pitch selection, only because he rarely swings and misses. So if he gets a ball in the strike zone, it's likely he's going to get hit that pitch hard, but even those borderline pitches, sometimes way off the plate, he can still get the bat on the ball, put it into play weakly, which is what has happened over the last week or so. Just narrow that zone down a little bit more.
Jose Serra, the Cubs scout who saw him in 2006 when he was 16. He said he had a weak arm at short, but he liked how the ball came out of his arm, the arm action. And he didn't hit for any power, but he said he never missed the ball. He made good contact. So those were the things that a good scout sees. He ended up signing for $45,000.
Mentioned before that Volquez will work mostly away to righties and lefties. A couple of pitches in the middle of the zone, everything else away, and trying to stay down on Starlin Castro.
Ooh, just that one off his front foot, and it really got him.
Not sure exactly where on that left foot it got him, maybe up near the ankle. Trying to walk it off there. Mark O'Neill comes out of the Cubs dugout to give him a few moments to regroup.
Great to see John McDonough, the president of the Blackhawks, Jay Blunk, Scotty Bowman in the house as well. And again, they must know somebody. Good seats. Another 3-2 and a ground ball up the middle. Backhanded neatly by Brandon Phillips. One of the best in the business at his position. Each team goes down in order in the first. at Wrigley Field for a special night when the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation honors the Ricketts family on Thursday, May 19th. The special dinner includes a ballpark tour, a chance to play catch, and hit in the batting cages. All proceeds benefit JDRF. For info, go to jdrfillinois.org. Brandon Phillips made what for him is a very routine play to get Starlin Castro to end the first, but the two-time Gold Glover, this is as good as it gets. Monday night against Houston, Jason Bourgeois hits a bouncer. Oh, he flipped the ball between his legs after the barehanded scoop. Are you kidding?
Man, he's something. I'll tell you, he makes some plays that make you scratch your head because he'll throw off the wrong foot. He'll throw fading away into the outfield at times. As we just saw, he'll throw it between his legs, behind his back, but rarely does he make errors.
But it looked like on that particular play, that was the only choice he had.
He was going full speed, just happened to come down with the left foot forward as he barehanded that ball. Really had no other way to get it over there other than to go between the legs, and a little short hopper to Joey Votto for the out on a speedy runner.
Rolls one to Starlin Castro. It's worth another look.
I mean, you have to have a little artist in you to think quickly enough to make that play right there. I mean, he probably really didn't think about it. He just realized that's the only thing he could do to possibly get an out. He fires himself up with that play.
Brings up Jay Bruce, said the game-ending RBI double Wednesday as the Reds rallied from a 2-0 deficit in the ninth to beat Houston 3-2. Garza flips a curve at 75 over for a strike. We talked about Garza here recently. He's 1-3, but he's pitched a lot better than his record indicates. Up in the air, shallow left. And Castro will take it. Castro looked at Soriano. Alfonso looked at him, and Starlin said, okay, I'll take it.
Good choice. Hey, fans, watch the Cubs take on the Reds on Mother's Day this Sunday at Wrigley Field. Game time is 1:20, but be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Cubs pink hat, compliments of MasterCard, preferred card of the Chicago Cubs. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
See a lot of pink hats and wristbands in the ballpark this weekend. It's Mother's Day weekend, and MLB and Susan G. Komen for the cure as Johnny Gomes takes ball one. Have announced the winners of the 2011 honorary Batgirl contest, and they'll all be recognized during the breast cancer awareness celebrations this Sunday. One winner for each of the 30 teams selected by a celebrity panel of judges and more than 500,000 fan votes. Katie Iannitelli, the Cubs representative, so she'll be here on Sunday. We also want to recognize Tasha Hubner from Chicago, representing the White Sox, and all 30 winners. Off the plate inside, 2-1 to Johnny Gomes, hitting 189. He is taking his fair share of walks, just not hitting for a high average. But he gets a base hit, of course. Into the gap. It's going to be off the door as Bird will keep Gomes at second base.
Now, Gomes had been 2 for his last 15 at the plate, and according to reports was not hitting the ball hard at all, but gets a hold of this one, splits that gap in left center field for a 2-out double, bringing the catcher Ramon Hernandez to the plate.
Weird to see a team that doesn't represent the National League West. Cubs just finished an 18-game stretch exclusively against the West, and they went 8-10, and 8 of their next 11 will be against the Central, and the only 3 out of the division will be against the Giants. And starting today, Bob, over the next 2+ weeks, there is not one opponent the Cubs will play that has been picked to be bad. Castro on the hop. And that's the inning. 2-out double, no runs. Midway in the second. Nothing. Blog on WGNTV.com. Do we see some stuff turning green?
A little bit.
Nice.
Very nice.
I have a post on the Cubs' return to Wrigley Field. And we have a photo of spring coming to Wrigley. Game notes from Stats, much more. WGNTV.com. Here's Aramis Ramirez, and he drives one out into left center, and it'll be Gomes who went back, then had to come in to make the grab for the out.
A rarity for Edinson Volquez in the early going this season. This is his 7th start of the year, and only the 2nd time he did not allow a run in the first inning. He kind of follows that pattern of pitchers that you need to get to him early or get to him late after he's tired, but once he settles in through the middle innings, he can be extremely tough.
All-Star in 2008. And he gets set to work against the Major League leader in home runs, Alfonso Soriano. Hit 4 on the just completed trip. Takes a curve over for a strike. Oh, isn't that sweet?
Perhaps still enjoying some Cinco de Mayo out there in the bleachers
Might
today.
be, yeah.
A little overflow.
6 de Mayo. She has a big heart.
Yes, she does.
Chased a bad one, and Hernandez will have to throw to first. Second strikeout for Volquez.
Hey, Cub fans, if you want to manage the game along with Mike Quaddy, log on to WGNTV.com right now and click on the WGN Sports Game Zone banner to connect to all the up-to-the-minute stats and information while you're watching at home. Game Zone is sponsored by The Great Escape, pools, patio sets, play sets, hot tubs, and more.
2 down. It's Marlon Byrd who hit his first homer of the season in the Cubs' last game Wednesday. 3-run blast off his former teammate Ted Lilly. Ground ball, and it kicks away from Paul Janisch and into left. It'll be an error on Janisch. Normally their shortstop.
With second error of the year for Paul Janisch, we were told that obviously nobody's going to replace Scott Rowland at third base, but Janisch had been doing a really nice job with the glove down there at the hot corner. Just could not come up with that short hop off the bat of Marlon Byrd. 2-out runner for the Cubs here for Carlos Pena, which is always a good thing. If you can get a runner on first base when Pena comes up, it kind of negates some of that defensive shift that opponents have been using against Carlos this year.
They still move Renteria over to the other side of second base, and Janisch a little more comfortable because he's basically playing short right now. Pena working on a 2-game home run streak. And he's going to bat with a runner at second.
Way inside that time, so Ramon Hernandez didn't have much of a chance to react to it. When you miss your spot by that much and throw the ball that hard, it's tough for a catcher to make that adjustment. That'll go as a wild pitch.
Took Pena over 70 at bats to get his first home run this season. It's 232 in his career.
According to pitch tracks, that ball is borderline top of the strike zone, but you could see by Pena's reaction, the catcher's reaction, neither one of them thought it was close to the zone.
(3-0) with Giovanni Soto on deck. Pena and Volquez from the Dominican Republic. Cubs, Illinois Governor Pat Quinn, Consul General of the Dominican Republic, Giselle Castillo-Veremis will honor players from the Dominican coming up on Tuesday night against the Cardinals. Starlin Castro, Carlos Marmol, Marcos Mateo, Pena, Ramos Ramirez, Alfonso Soriano, along with Miguel Batista and Albert Pujols of the Cardinals will participate and be recognized in a special pregame ceremony. Cubs have really expanded their commitment to the Dominican Republic since the Ricketts family took over the franchise in 2009. Ball 4, he walked him. And here comes Giovanni Soto, has the game-winning RBI in the Cubs' last 2 games. Dusty Baker looks on, former Cubs skipper. Dusty was barely edged out by Bud Black for the NL Manager of the Year award last year. Would have been his 4th. I think that would have tied him for the all-time record. Dusty, one of 11 managers with 250 wins with 3 different clubs: the Giants, the Cubs, and the Reds. Lou Pinella's on that list. Leo DeRocher did it with 4 teams, including the Cubs. One and two.
No, there's no doubt major league players love to play for Dusty Baker. Very much a player's manager. The change up that time once again from Volquez. Dusty very loyal to his players, especially the veterans that have played for him for a number of years. He will back them to the hilt.
Cubs without a hit, an error, and a walk with 2 outs. Have them threatening here as Soto fouls back on a good cut. Still 1 and 2.
Now you can see Hernandez coming up out of his crouch behind home plate. Wanted that fastball up at the top of the zone. That's exactly where Volquez delivered it that time. And we've seen just in this at bat flashes of the inconsistency that you get when Edinson Volquez takes the mound. Occasionally he can dominate when he's hitting his spots. Other times he can struggle mightily, falling behind a lot of counts, walking a lot of batters, running up a pitch count.
Another 1-2 inside.
Another example right there. Hernandez sets up off of the outside corner, looking for a 2-strike changeup to try to get Gio to swing and miss. And the pitch ends up down and in off the other side of the plate. He missed his spot by about 3.5 feet right there.
Another one way inside. Garza would hit next. The runners will be in motion with this 3-2. Pitch tracks won't even log the next pitch if this trend continues so far inside.
Well, we'll see where it registers on Matt Garza standing in the on deck circle.
There they go, and he got it. Third strikeout for Volquez. The Cubs strand 2. Dealers for their support of local youth baseball leagues. Through the Chevy Youth Baseball program, the local Chevrolet dealers are supporting over 35,000 young ball players in their communities. From the big leagues to the youth leagues, Chevy is truly the official vehicle of baseball. No wind coming off the lake, the wind blowing toward the lake on this sunny Friday afternoon to kick off Mother's Day weekend. Paul Janisch hitting 8th will start the 3rd for Cincinnati, and nothing tie. Only 1 hit. It was a double by Johnny Gomes in the 2nd. That's trying to get comfortable with that jersey. Got it all tucked in just right. Takes a deep breath, and now he's ready for the first pitch. Just missed his spot. 1-0 on Janisch. Got a note from King James, who said he finally talked the wife into getting WGN. I always like it when the guy says the wife. It's so endearing, isn't it?
I think of a few other terms that are used when referring to one's spouse that
How about my
are less complimentary. Yeah. How about my beloved wife?
Yeah.
At least I didn't call her the old ball and chain.
And he held up. 2-2. Pitching matchups for the rest of the series: Bronson Arroyo and Casey Coleman tomorrow. Johnny Cueto in his first start of the year coming off the DL against Brian Dempster, the former Red, on Sunday.
What a different look on Ryan Dempster's face after his last start as opposed to his earlier starts this season, when he really appeared to be a man that was searching for answers, couldn't figure out what was going on, where his command had gone. But after his start in LA the other day, had a look of contentment, like everything finally came together for him, and hopefully he can build on that no decision against the Dodgers. He was really good that day.
Couldn't hold up that time, and that's the 2nd strikeout, and number 53 on the year for Garza.
I'll tell you, the thing you love about Matt Garza is he can use multiple weapons to get an opposing hitter out. He is not just strictly a fastball pitcher. He's not strictly a breaking ball pitcher. It just depends on the batter in that batter's box and what his strengths and weaknesses are, and Garza has weapons to attack any weakness.
Volquez in his career has struck out 54 times, but he has walked once. Garza fired one at about 98 miles an hour to Carlos Pena.
Meet the Team, Have a Ball, presented by Bank of America, is on Wednesday, May 25th at 2:30. Collect autographs on an authentic MLB baseball from the 2011 Cubs players and coaches in attendance. Limited tickets are available for $300 each. Proceeds benefit Chicago Cubs charities. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com or call 773-404-Cubs.
Stubbs flied to right to start the game.
I think they got their signals crossed. Pena called for a changeup. Garza threw him a fastball from close range. They have some quick reaction, quick hands down there at first base when that pitcher picks up a little topper like that in front of home plate.
Carlos telling him, that's all you got? Come on. Curveball caught the strike zone, and about the only person who didn't see it land in the mitt was the batter.
Well, that high curveball, that's not the location as a hitter you're accustomed to seeing that pitch start. That ball started up near his head, ended up at the very top of the strike zone.
And he gets him with a heater for strike 3. Bottom 3, still nothing. Playing the first of 3 in this series and the first of 18 by the time the season is over. And Garza looks at a strike. When will he get his first hit? 0 for 14 on the year, 0 for 25 in his career. On that swing, 0-2.
Not on that pitch. Nasty curveball from Volquez.
There it is. Matt Garza on a hanger, an 0-2 mistake with his first major league hit. Get the baseball.
Well, after chasing a real good curveball out of the strike zone low and away, Volquez hangs him one right in the middle of the plate. Congratulations, Matt Garza. Hopefully the first of many this year. I wonder if he knows where to go next.
Bob Grenier pointing at second base. So when you get there, take a left.
Just keep making lefts. It's a lot like NASCAR.
Fukudome ground ball, should be 2. It's none. And Renteria didn't even get 1 out. Votto has a habit of throwing off that back foot, but Bob, it looked like a good throw.
Yeah, it did look like a good throw. I mentioned Brandon Phillips earlier that'll make some awkward looking throws. Joey Votto, the same thing at first. This is kind of a fadeaway toss. Underhanded to Renteria, who apparently just took his eye off the ball momentarily. And some contact there between Garza and Renteria after the Red shortstop missed the ball.
Like Renteria took his eye, well, obviously he wasn't on the ball, but off the runner as well. So a fielder's choice for Fukudome and an error on Renteria. There should be 2 outs, nobody on. Instead, nobody out and 2 on. And the Reds have already committed 2 errors behind Volquez. Darwin Barney takes an inside corner fastball for strike 1.
No sign of a bunt on that first pitch by Darwin Barney. Maybe a little early in the game for Mike Quaddy to give up an out, but this is normally a situation with your 2-hitter at the plate, your 3, 4, 5-hitter scheduled, where you would go ahead and move both those runners into scoring position.
Barney's swinging away, and I like it, partner. I mean, you're kind of doubling down here. You've got a guy who has been a 300 hitter the whole season, and he should be batting with nobody on. I think you shoot for that big inning here.
Yeah, I would tend to disagree, only because of the runner at second base, Matt Garza, a guy who's not used to running the bases. We're not sure if he can score on a base hit to the outfield right here.
Phillips diving stop, back behind his back. He flips to Renteria for the out. Renteria knew he wasn't going to get Barney, so he thought he could deke Garza, who was told to stay right on third base. Another fantastic play by Brandon Phillips. Watch this. Perfect.
Oh, man. Use a basketball term, court awareness. You know where everybody else is on the court at any one given time, depending on where the ball is. Brandon Phillips is the same thing as a defender. No matter how far up the middle or in the hole between first and second he goes to get a ball, he always knows where his fellow defenders are going to be, and even on a behind the back toss from his belly, put it right on the money to Renteria for the force.
So just adding to his highlight reel, first and third with one out, and Castro takes a curve over. One strike. Trying to think of what else Brandon Phillips could do that he hasn't done. Between the legs, behind the back, using all the basketball moves you could make.
How about kick one out of bounds right here?
Sky hook. Ooh, broken bat. Ball ended up rattling around in the home dugout.
What would you do with an extra $1,000 a week every week for the rest of your life? Play Cash for Life instant games from the Illinois Lottery. You keep living, we keep giving. $1,000 a week for life. The longer you live, the more you get.
So Castro will battle here down 0-2. Garza at third, Barney at first. Single and an error setting up this inning. One and two.
Well, we've seen Volquez throw his changeup on 2-0, 3-1 counts. That time on an 0-2 count to Starlin Castro. Bounced the changeup up there, hoping to get the swinging strike. I think he probably has more confidence in that pitch than his fastball and his curveball. Much like Carlos Marmol feels like he can throw his slider for strikes with more consistency than his fastball.
Mendez wants a fastball up. That's where he gets it. Three Red starters in this series have combined for a 2.88 Wrigley Field earned run average.
Right up the
Volquez
ladder.
at 1.5.
Be another changeup. Just able to stay alive. Some pitchers throw a straight changeup, and it's just that. It's a fastball that's a little bit slower, still very straight. Volquez not only changes speeds, but has a lot of downward movement on that changeup. Almost looks like a splitter.
And how did Castro make contact?
That's what he does.
Ready now for a 2-2. Barney takes off. The pitch is high. The throw's going to go through. Garza's going to hold it third. It's a stolen base for Darwin Barney.
Second of the year for Darwin Barney. Very deliberate throw to second base by Hernandez. He just didn't want to throw that ball away. He could clearly see that Barney had a big enough jump to steal that bag. Just wanted to get the ball to Brandon Phillips in the air and let Phillips check that runner at third base.
Hernandez has been really good this year, 44% in throwing out base stealers, but Barney gets him that time. 3-2, first base open. And the pitch bounce to the third baseman Giannis. Garza holding, 2 down. Say, Matt Garza's had quite an education this trip around the bases, hasn't he? He's been putting some interesting spots. He's made all the right decisions.
So far, so good, yeah. He came off the bag. When he saw Giannis had the ball, he held his ground, and then once the throw was made across the diamond, nowhere for him to go. Be up to Aramis Ramirez to come through with 2 outs in the inning here.
And no rest for Garza this half inning. He led off the inning with a base hit. He's been on the bases since. Fortunately, hasn't labored really at all on the mound. Matt has so much energy, I don't think he minds being on his feet. That gets by. Garza's going to score. Standing. A passed ball charged to Hernandez. And the Cubs get the lead. Boy, they have been very shaky defensively, and something they were very good at last year was defense.
I can sympathize with Hernandez. You've got a pitcher on the mound that has electric stuff and right now has no idea where anything is going. As a catcher, you set up, you give your target, you expect that pitch to be somewhere in the vicinity of your mitt, and then Volquez is missing his spot from one side of the plate to the other, low to high, high to low. Hernandez probably feels more like a goalie right now than a catcher.
So Matt Garza scoring his second career run after his first major league hit. Ground ball. Shortstop Edgar Renteria, who made a key error earlier. An unearned run, and the Cubs lead 1-0. by a Cub going back to 1974. Matt Garza has 54 punch-outs and has kept the ball in the yard. Big surprise. Pryor and Wood would be on that list. Well, it's 1-0, and he has that run. Scored on a passed ball.
Still not sure what kind of a hitter Matt Garza is going to be throughout his career, but we know one thing: he's a pretty good base runner. Yeah, as you mentioned, he had a lot of different things thrown his direction in that trip around the bases and handled them all very well.
Ground ball up the middle and through for Edgar Renteria. So 1 on for Joey Votto. Going outside for ball 1. It was on this date 13 years ago, Kerry Wood's 5th major league start. 20 strikeouts against the Houston Astros, May 6th, 1998.
What a remarkable day that was for Woody. Just unbelievable. I mean, when you get an athlete on top of his game and everything comes together physically and mentally, all of his pitches were working. That was one of the most dominating pitching performances I've ever seen.
A one-hitter, Ricky Gutierrez had the only hit. Good block by Soto. 122 pitches, 84 for strikes. Votto takes the walk, and the Reds are in business with Phillips coming up.
You hope that trip around the bases for Matt Garza doesn't take anything away from his deliveries on the mound. As we mentioned, that was his first base hit. Hasn't had a lot of experience running the bases.
Certainly a big key for the Cubs to get to and over 500 will be the top 3 in the rotation. And if you combine the last 4 starts of Dempster, Zambrano, and Garza, 3-0 with a 2.17. And that's huge with the other 40% of the opening day rotation on the disabled list. Brandon Phillips asking the home plate umpire, Vic Carapazza, why didn't you ask Jerry Lane at first? But Carapazza said, I saw you swing. I don't need to ask.
Then I would say, are you watching my batter or are you watching the ball?
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about this in the past. I'm sure that from the umpire's perspective, even as he's tracking the pitch into the hitting zone, you can see that bat to a certain extent, but why not take advantage of that other set of eyes?
Don't wanna.
Don't wanna, don't have to. And talking about potential rotation help, Len, an outstanding start by Doug Davis yesterday, pitching for the Daytona Cubs down in the Florida State League. Went 6 2/3 of 2-hit baseball, struck out 7, threw only 77 pitches to go 6 2/3.
swing and a miss.
Sounds like the schedule for Doug Davis is to make a start at the AAA level and then reevaluate at that point.
While we have a chance, let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. One nothing Cubs. 2 on, 1 out. Jay Bruce at the plate for the Reds. Here in the 4th. Three-homer game for Jay Bruce in Cincinnati last year on August 27th. And he just hit a 3-run homer in the middle of the bleachers in right. That's the first homer allowed by Garza as a Cub.
We said at the top of the show the wind may help left-handed pull hitters. Balls hit in the air to right field. I don't think this one needed a lot of help. He gets it about halfway up the bleachers out there in right field. A towering fly ball home run for Jay Bruce. Six of his last 7 hits have gone for extra bases. 4 homers and 2 doubles.
So just like that, it's 3-1 Cincinnati. And here's Johnny Gomes with the bases empty. Takes it low, ball 1. He pointed out on numerous occasions Johnny Gomes gets ready to hit to really adjust that batting helmet. And your thought was that it's to help him open his eyes a little more?
A little bit. Sometimes when you jam that batter's helmet on top of your head, it forces the skin on your forehead down onto your eyebrows, and it kind of makes you squint. So in order to avoid that, it looks like he pulls the helmet down and slides it back up to make sure his eyes are wide open, ready to see that pitch.
Three and 1.
Eventually he's going to grab that helmet with his right hand, pull it down, back up, down, back up, down, back up. Now I can see.
3 and 2. Nachos in a helmet.
Oh, baby.
And he got him.
Good change up of his own that time by Matt Garza. Started in the middle of the plate, ends up down and low out of the strike zone. Johnny Gomes a very aggressive swinger anyway. Chases and misses for the second out.
As we look around baseball, the Braves will go into their weekend series against the first place Phillies, having won 5 in a row. They just engineered a 4-game sweep over Milwaukee. Nice mohawk there by Johnny Gomes. Up and in. 2-0 to Hernandez.
That is a full mohawk. Some of us can only do a half hawk. Kind of starts in the middle and works to the back, and the front's a little sparse.
Got the mohawk and the mullet. The mullet hawk. Some dark clouds north of us, but comfortable here. Get a little rain over the weekend, but so far so good. Soriano over into left center, and that will do it. But Jay Bruce with a 3-run homer to right. It's now 3-1 Cincinnati. The Cubs and Reds matching up for the first time this season. 3-1 Cincinnati on the Jay Bruce home run. Alfonso Soriano way out in front of that first pitch. And a foul strike. TJ Flickinger writing. Which play is better, the Brandon Phillips or Mark Burley? Both guys flipping it between their legs. I don't think I could pick one. They were both fantastic.
Both incredibly athletic, creative defensive plays. I think maybe Burley only because he didn't use his throwing hand. It was all glove. And it's very tough to shovel the ball out of your glove and know exactly when to open the fingers up and let the ball go.
With a behind the back play in this game.
Well, you know I have a thing about wearing the sunglasses up on top of the hat. I think I like Brandon Phillips wearing them around his neck even less. That just looks like a safety hazard right there.
Well, there you go. Edgar Renteria took care of you. I like Alfonso Soriano. He wears the flip downs. They don't look as stylish, but they're very functional.
They're functional. They were made for what they're made for. Fly balls on a day like this where the sun is peeking in and out behind the clouds. On one play you don't need them, so you leave them flipped up, no problem. On the next play, if the sun's shining brightly and you lose the ball, you flip the shades down.
Comes a 3-2 change in the dirt. Time now for the Cubs' upcoming schedule, brought to you by Lincoln. Not just luxury, it's smarter than that. Feel smarter at Lincoln.com. Early game on national TV tomorrow. We're back on WGN Sunday at 1. And then the Cardinals come to town for the first time Tuesday night, game 1 here on WGN at 7.
For Alfonso Soriano, only his 4th walk of the season in 110 at bats.
Bird reached on an error in the second. Cassie Hahn, watching in Mishawaka, Indiana, asks us to say hello to her boyfriend Brian. Hi, Brian.
I assume you know who you are.
I was kind of hoping Cassie could say hello to her boyfriend Brian, but we'll do it. 2-0 on Bird.
Wow. What kind of creative eyewear today?
Usually any sort of sun, and Marlon Bird wears the shades the whole game. Two and one.
I'm going to have to paraphrase this story because, as you can imagine, Len, it is baseball. But Danny Ozark was the interim manager of the San Francisco Giants one time. There was a fly ball hit the left field, and our left fielder lost the ball in the sun. When he got back to the bench between innings, Danny asked him, "Don't you have your sunglasses?" He says, "Yeah." "Well, where are they?" And the player said, "They're in my back pocket." And Danny asked him exactly and anatomically where your eyeballs are located. That's about as good as I can do it.
Yeah.
But it was one of the days very similar to today. Clouds were rolling through, and at times it would be kind of dark at Candlestick Park, and at other times bright sunshine. So the guy took his glasses off and put them in his back pocket.
And a base hit. Bird stays hot. There's an 8-game hitting streak.
A lot of Marlon Bird's base hits last year were just like this. Hard topspin ground balls that just seem to shoot through that infield before the defenders have a chance to react. Good to see him heating it up.
You talked about Volquez's wildness today. Reds have given the Cubs chances with some shaky defense. Kind of feel like you're going to have chances today. And another one here. 2 on, nobody out. But the Cubs need to take advantage. Pena went around. They were going to appeal, but again, Vic Carapazza already had made the call.
No argument from Carlos Pena.
Another one bounced up there. Both runners advance.
Volquez had one wild pitch on the season coming in today. That's his second already, to go along with a pass ball by Ramon Hernandez behind the plate. And when you're blocking balls off your collarbone standing straight up, that's a wild pitch. Changeup that hit way out in front of home plate.
Couple wild pitches, passed ball, 2 errors. 2-1 count. Soto on deck. Second and third, nobody out. Been a grind for Volquez pretty much all day. And a quick 1-2-3 in the first, but it's been tough since. Volquez has trailed in all 7 of his starts. 3-1. Pushed back a day in mid-April because of a stiff neck and was scheduled to start on April 22nd in St. Louis. He warmed up but then did not pitch after a 2-hour 10-minute rain delay.
Probably going to be a 3-1 changeup right here. Nope, he came with the fastball but missed away. Loading him up for Giovanni Soto. The Chicago Cubs are hosting the 2nd annual fantasy camp at Wrigley Field. Join us on May 15th and 16th when 40 participants will receive the most extraordinary game day and on-field experience imaginable. This year's legends include Ernie Banks, Billy Williams, Fergie Jenkins, and others. Reserve your roster spot today by calling 773-404-4748 or visit Cubs.com/premier.
While Brian Price visited the mound, Chris Spire, the bench coach, was calling Juan Lopez, or at least was looking at him from the dugout, and they were trying to describe the pitcher they wanted to get up. And finally, somebody said, "Why don't you just answer the phone, Porky?" And they will get Carlos Fisher up. Another one gets away from Hernandez, but everybody holding.
Busy day for Hernandez behind the plate already. He's been forced to jump to his right, to his left, up, down, blocked a number of balls in the dirt. Volquez all over the place today.
Up the middle. It'll be a 6-3 double play. It's 3-2. Soto will not be credited with an RBI. Doesn't break his bat. He might hit it hard enough to get into the center, but the ball really slowed up and needed relatively routine for Renteria.
Tailing fastball got in on the trademark of Giovanni Soto just to take enough speed off that ball to give Renteria a chance, and he turns it into an easy 6-3 double play.
That's fair, and he's out. Right in front of home plate. Well, the Cubs have scored the last 2 innings, but only 1 run in each inning with a lot of chances.
Is sponsored in part by Mega Millions and now Powerball from the Illinois Lottery. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $12 million, while Saturday's Powerball jackpot sits at 50.
(3-2) Reds. Kind of been the story of the season early on. Cubs just not fully taking advantage of their chances. Bases loaded, no outs, they get just one. And Paul Janisch will lead off the Reds' fifth. The sun has disappeared. It's still there, but a lot of cloud cover in the area. Lights have been on since we started. The wind's still blowing out toward right as Janisch gets one off the glove of Starlin Castro. Big turn around first, on his way to second, and he is safe with a double.
Hustle double for Paul Janisch. Hit that ball extremely hard in the hole between third and short. Castro has to leave his feet to try to make the play right there. Slows it down just enough that Soriano's got to come a long way from his position in left field. Janisch in on his belly with a leadoff double. I mean, needless to say, the only way you can turn that into a double is if you're going hard out of the batter's box, and Paul Janisch was doing that.
Volquez now in a sac bunt position. And he takes ball one. He's laid down one bunt successfully this season. A hard bunt, but only one play is Pena will get it to Barney.
Looks like Janisch may have injured himself sliding into third base over there.
Well, that is not what they need. Scott Rowland and Juan Francisco are already on the disabled list. And Miguel Cairo battling a day-to-day knee injury. Dusty Baker's going to come out along with the head athletic trainer to check on Janisch. Hey, Chicagoland viewers, how would you like to win $5 footlongs from Subway? Just be the 500th texter to text Subway to 97999. Go to WGNTV.com for complete info and rules.
There's any way Paul Janisch is going to be able to go here. Tried to run it off a little bit, convince his manager he was okay to stay in the game. I don't know. I guess he is going to stay in.
At least for now. And that could change the situation here. Now the infield's in. Bob, would you consider moving your infielders back a few steps, thinking that Janisch might not go on contact because of an apparent ankle injury?
It would certainly be something to think about. Mark Berry, the third base coach, came over and whispered in his ear, probably told him make the ball go through, especially if you're going to be running gimpily down that third baseline. You don't want to take any chances.
Ramirez will get the out at first, and he almost got Janisch, who had to go hard back to the bag. That actually worked out perfectly for the Cubs.
Big one hopper right to the bag, sending Janisch back. That makes it an easy play across the diamond for Aramis Ramirez, not having to worry about that runner sneaking down the third baseline.
That did not help that lower leg. Having to jam it into the bag at third. Edgar Renteria was the MVP of the World Series last year with the Giants. That was after 3 DL stints during the regular season, just 72 games. He hit the game-winning and World Series clinching 3-run homer at Texas in Game 5. Hit a game-winning blast in Game 2 as well. In 2 other World Series, he was the final batter both times. 97 with the Florida Marlins in a win, and then for St. Louis, he made the final out of the 2004 World Series. How many guys can tell their grandkids, I was a final guy at the plate in 2 different World Series, and then in a third, I was the MVP?
0. 0 guys. Yeah, some guys just have a knack for showing up on winning teams, and Edgar Renteria has been a winning player throughout his career. At this stage, physically, he's a little limited. His range isn't quite what it used to be. Certainly his speed not what it used to be, but he makes up for that with his experience and his positioning defensively, his intelligent base running.
Just threw his bat at it, and it is foul. The bat is sitting right next to the pitcher's mound. He threw his bat about 60 feet, maybe 57 feet.
And hit the ball about the same distance. Well, it looks funny, and his teammates will give him a hard time about it, but that's a good emergency swing just to stay alive. Borderline pitch, too close to take, not good enough to do much with. And once he started his swing, he realized, I need to make contact somehow. So just let the bat go, squirted it down that third baseline. I talked about it many times. The best player I played against that could do that was Billy Buckner. You get him to 2 strikes, and he might do that 3 times to stay alive in the at-bat.
Wind shifting a little bit, a little more north-northwest. Right now, almost due north. It's starting to blow in. By the way, Bill Buckner will fill in for you in Boston at Fenway Park in a couple of Fridays. Former Cub and Red Sox. Well, it's a BB for a BB for one night. Ball 4. You did bring a jacket, right, today?
Yes, I did.
Because it was warm when we started, but it's cooling off now as the wind is kind of blowing in our face.
No, this is not my first rodeo. I brought a jacket. Okay. Didn't want to have to put it on, though. It was so nice this morning for the first time maybe all summer to wake up in Chicago and the sun was out.
First and third, and it's Joey Votto taking ball 1. You know, Garza wanted to get Renteria, not face this guy with runners on base.
Boy, and the dangerous thing about Joey Votto, obviously he's a real good hitter that has tremendous pop and would prefer to pull the ball to right field if he has a count in his favor, but he can hit the ball all over the ballpark with authority. He really has killed the Cubs in the past with opposite field home runs, especially in Cincinnati at their little bandbox.
37 homers last year when he won the MVP. And up the middle, and a base hit to knock in a run. Renteria will end up at third. And it's 4-2.
Boy, not a bad pitch. That's off the outside corner, working its way down, but Votto shows tremendous plate coverage, hits it off the end of the bat, but enough to muscle it past Matt Garza into center field for an RBI base hit.
We'll bring Mark Riggins to the mound.
That's another thing that makes Joey Votto such a good hitter and such a good run producer. It's one thing when a pitcher makes a mistake and you hit the ball consistently hard. But even when a pitcher makes a good pitch, you're still able to do some damage and get teammates on the plate. And that's what Joey Votto has done pretty consistently over the last 3 years.
The one interesting thing about watching Matt Garza, just from an aesthetic standpoint, and we were told this when the Cubs traded for him, he wears his emotions on his sleeve. I mean, he gave up his first home run of the season to Jay Bruce earlier, and he was angry. I mean, visibly angry. He doesn't look too happy right now.
Well, and that anger is generally directed at himself. He's either upset that he didn't make the pitch he wanted to make, or upset that he wasn't able to bail his team out of a tough situation.
One of the guys he was traded for, Brandon Guyer, who's in the Cubs farm system, just brought up by Tampa Bay. So set to make his major league debut. Here's a pitch. Base hit right field. Renteria's in. 5-2. Well, hopefully you were with us as we started the broadcast today. If not, we focused in on 3 guys in the Reds lineup: Phillips, Votto, Bruce. And they've all done some damage.
And it's a perfect example in this inning why the Reds are so efficient when they get runners on base. Joey Votto, their number 3 hitter, went back up the middle with a pitch with a runner in scoring position. And right there, Brandon Phillips content to take a slider on the outside corner and shoot it through into right field. And just hit the ball where it's pitched. Hit it hard wherever it's pitched.
Swing and a miss, 0-2. Inside, Brooke Jacoby is their hitting coach, and last year presided over an offense that led the National League in runs, homers, batting average, slugging. But then, as can sometimes happen in the postseason against tough pitching, the Reds hit 124 in 3 games against the Phillies, including getting no hit by Roy Halladay. They were shut out twice, and they actually wasted some good pitching in the series. Their ERA was 2.52, but they gave up 6 unearned runs. So, Bob, the 2 things that they counted on last year, offense and defense, failed them in a 3-game sweep in the division series.
At the worst possible time, yeah.
That's how it goes. Swing and a miss to end the inning. But they add a couple, and it's now 5-2 midway in the 5th. Xfinity HD shot of the game. Some of the ivy finally growing in on the vines on the outfield walls. Cubs baseball brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. I think the lake's warm enough for you to jump in it after the game. Don't you think?
Only if I have to jump in to save you. That's the only way I'm getting in that water today.
Well, you don't have to worry about that. One strike on the Cubs leadoff man, Kosuke Fukudome. 5-2 Cincinnati. The Cubs with single tallies in each of the last two, but the Reds are putting up the crooked numbers. I got a little beef with something that happened last year and something we talked about involving Edinson Volquez. If you recall, as Kosuke bounces into the 3-1, Volquez was suspended for 50 games for violating MLB's drug policy. However, he was recovering from Tommy John surgery at the time, and he served that suspension while on the DL, and that's a loophole that doesn't seem fair, does it?
No, I agree with you. That does not seem fair, and that's a loophole that should be closed.
I mean, obviously the shame publicly involved with a positive test is part of the punishment. There's a pitch to Barney. And the financial component to it, but something that a lot of other teams thought should have hurt the Reds a little more than it did. Two strikes to Barney. It's one of the reasons why when a starting pitcher gets suspended versus a position player after a brawl or something, the starter usually gets 5, 6, 7 games as opposed to 1 or 2, because that wouldn't really matter. Make a start and go, I'll serve my 2-game suspension. I'll serve my 4-game suspension. How's that?
Yeah. There's some talk that Major League Baseball has to address the issue of the DUI arrests. There's been 6 DUI arrests in spring training by Major League players. So far, MLB has allowed the appropriate law enforcement agencies and the organizations to handle them internally, but at some point you get the feeling Major League Baseball is going to step in and possibly add penalties of their own on top of.
Yeah, kind of along the morals clause line. Into right. Phillips just couldn't get it.
Take the Chicago Cubs with you wherever you go this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Chicago Cubs game live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit Cubs.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere.
Castro batting with 1 on, 1 out here in the 5th. Another opposite field base hit. That's 2 in a row. Barney's going to have to hold.
I love this approach by both Barney, who was battling in a 2-strike count, and now Starlin Castro. Where are your best chances of getting a ball through the infield right there? The right side, no question about it. Votto holding on Barney at first. Brandon Phillips cheating close to the bag at second. They shoot it through that hole on the right side. Set the table for the guys in the middle of the order.
Reds are very familiar with the damage Starlin Castro can do. He had a record-setting major league debut in Cincy last year, 6 RBIs. Ramirez, ground ball, base hit. Barney coming around third. Gomes will throw it into Yanish. 5-3. 3 consecutive singles with 1 out. Volquez now throwing strikes, but they're being turned into hits.
Belt high fastball for Aramis Ramirez. He finds a hole this time on the left side of the infield. Good jump off of second base by Darwin Barney. Johnny Gomes has no play at the plate, just lobbed it back into the cutoff man. Cubs sneaking back into it.
Ryan Price is going to head back out to the mound, and with that, Carlos Fisher will get up yet again in the bullpen. Fans, Meet the Team, Have a Ball, presented by Bank of America, is on Wednesday, May 25th at 2:30. Collect autographs on an authentic MLB baseball from the 2011 Cubs players and coaches in attendance. Limited tickets are available for $300 each. Proceeds benefit Chicago Cubs charities. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com or call 773-404-CUBS. Five-3 count with 2 on. So the tying runs are on base as Soriano hits it foul. This has not been one of Volquez's better performances. He's gotten some run support. Right now, kind of hanging on by his fingernails to a 2-run lead. A liner caught by Phillips. A flip to Renteria. They turn it. Looked like Castro got back in time, but apparently not. Another great throw by Phillips as he did the backhand toss. You be the judge. Did they get him at second base? Maybe.
line drive. A nice play by Brandon Phillips to stay with it, and it certainly appeared that Starlin Castro got his hand on the base at second before Renteria could get there, but second base umpire Bob Davidson did not see it that way. A double play to get the Cubs out of the inning.
Go 5-3 Cincy. Holmes has doubled and struck out. Twist out of play. We'll see the Royals in interleague play in Kansas City in June, and the Royals just brought up their first baseman prospect Eric Hosmer, one of the top prospects in the game today. He's going to play first. Keila Kahue was sent out. Garza can't handle it, but it's going to be Darwin Barney to make the play. A lot of eyes will be on Eric Hosmer. They've got a ton of prospects who will be with the Royals within the next year or two.
Well, the Royals have been playing some really good ball at home as well. 8 games over 500, 14-6 so far this season.
Story of that division continues to be the Cleveland Indians. They have tied their best 30-game start ever in Indians history at 21-9. 7 last at bat wins for Cleveland. Hernandez fouls this one back out of play. The sun is back. This huge Friday afternoon crowd trying to enjoy some of those rays. Called strike 2.
We talk about a 12-6 curveball. Yeah, just picture the numbers on a clock. It starts at 12, drops straight down to 6, right in the middle of the zone to Hernandez for a called strike.
And he waves at strike 3. 7 now for Matt Garza. The new Bud Light Bleachers Series provides fans with exciting new opportunities in the Bud Light Bleachers this season, including free T-shirt Mondays, $3 12-ounce Bud and Bud Light Tuesdays, and $1 Vienna Beef Hot Dog Wednesdays. Tuesday's special also available in select locations in the Seating Bowl. For more info and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. Giannis got clipped. You can tell he's still not running at 100% as he limps down to first base. That had nothing to do with this pitch. It was earlier on a slide into third.
Paul Giannis is a smart guy, and he understands the situation that the Reds are in with the injuries that you've mentioned, and he's going to do everything he can to gut this one out today, stay in the ball game. They need some extensive treatments after the game, but he knows Dusty needs him in there.
Arnie will get Volquez, and the inning is over. 5-3 as we go to the bottom of the 6th.
Stan apparently listening to his daughter's iPod again. That's Ben Harper with Get It Like You Like It. That's our Bud fan cam. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds.
Slow curve to Marlon Byrd. 5-3 Cincinnati here in the sixth. The strike to the Cubs center fielder. Marcos Mateo just got up in the Cubs pen as a pitcher spot is due up fourth here in this inning. There's a rookie Mateo under the watchful tutelage of Lester Strode, the bullpen coach. Changeup really dipped at the end. Sam LeCure is up. And the 1-2 on the way. Ground ball is past a diving Giannis in the left. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN.
First baseman, number 22, Carlos Pena.
Glenn and Bob and our WGN Sports crew from beautiful Wrigley Field. 5-3 Cincinnati leading. Tying run at the plate, Carlos Pena. He has walked both times. Got to believe the leash is pretty short for Volquez as he nears 100 pitches on the day, and he hasn't had a clean inning since the first.
Well, and the Cubs don't have a lot of guys in the lineup that attempt to bunt for a base hit. We've seen Carlos Pena do it a few times to try to thwart that exaggerated pull shift that most teams use on him. But as we saw Paul Giannis limping around the bases and limping down to first base, you wonder if it might not be worth the effort to try to drop some bunts down that third baseline. Just keep him away from the pitcher and force Giannis to come in and make a play.
Yeah, it would be an intriguing possibility. And Giannis is way back right now. Pena ahead in the count yet again. As wild as Volquez has been, he's only walked 3. I think what has made him look wilder is that he's missed really badly on several pitches. A couple of wild ones. And ball 4. Pena's walked all 3 times, and here comes Dusty. So they go into the bullpen. We'll be back. Bruce in the 4th inning. Matt Garza with his first major league hit and his second major league run, but he will exit the game having allowed 5 over 6 innings, and that homer by Bruce, the first allowed by Garza this year. Visit your local Honda dealer today to test drive the 2011 Honda Cross Tour, available with 4-wheel drive.
See the numbers for Sam LeCure on the year. Started the season in the bullpen, then went into the rotation as the Reds had some injury issues. Had 4 straight starts for the Reds before appearing out of the bullpen on Thursday against the Astros. He's a strike thrower, fastball, slider, changeup pitcher.
Cubs have 2 on, nobody out. And Giovanni Soto at the plate. Reed Johnson has jumped into the on-deck circle in Garza's spot, and the Reds are guarding against a bunt. Soto without a sacrifice this season, and I don't suspect he's going to lay one down here. In fact, he does not have a sac bunt in his career. As Votto now backs up. Jan is still in at the edge of the grass. Two and 0. Strike from LeCure. One of my favorite 80s bands. He has made 4 starts this year. This is his 3rd appearance out of the bullpen, as Bob mentioned. 2nd day in a row he's worked. Two and 2.
Just over 22 innings of work this year. He struck out 20, walked only 5. He's usually going to be right around that plate.
Comes a 2-2 inside. It's full.
In, trying to stay in on the hands of Giovanni Soto in this at bat, not allow him to extend his arms. That bat head out there in front of the plate.
Base hit left field. Bird around 3rd. Here comes a throw by Gomes. Offline. Throw to 3rd. Save. Tying run is 90 feet away with nobody out as Pena gets in there. Soto with a big RBI single.
Slider right in the middle of the plate. Down low in the strike zone. Giovanni Soto with a hard topspin grounder through that left side. Gomes came up firing to home plate. That was a good read by Carlos Pena. He saw that ball was going to airmail the cutoff man all the way to home plate in the air, and takes the chance and gets himself to 3rd base with nobody out here in the inning. Cubs have him on the corners.
Cubs with a lot of ground ball base hits in this game, and it's Reed Johnson as a pinch hitter First and third, nobody out. Reds will concede the tying run for a shot at a double play ball up the middle. Giannis and Votto are in. Votto holding on. Soto at first. Single, a walk, and an RBI hit to start this inning.
Fastball chases Reed Johnson right out of there, tailing up and in. Reed is 2 for 7 this year as a pinch hitter with a run driven in. And no previous history against LeCure.
A lot of people call him Uncle Sam. He has 8 nephews and 7 nieces. Youngest of 8 children. His parents Marvin and Ann have been married for 48 years. (2-0). Foul pop to make it 2-1.
Reed just a little bit too quick on a fastball up and in. High fly ball foul down that third baseline. A little puzzled, Len, why we're not using a left-handed pinch hitter right here. Apparently the style of pitcher that Sam LeCure is, Mike Quade feels it's a better matchup for Reed Johnson rather than Blake DeWitt or Tyler Colvin, but he does have a couple of left-handed bats available off the bench.
And DeWitt in particular has really excelled here lately as a pinch hitter. A foul pop again.
Now, sometimes the style of pitcher on the mound will determine who your pinch hitter is. If a guy's a high ball pitcher and you've got a couple of low ball hitters available on the bench, you're going to go with the guy that you feel can handle that high pitch better. If the guy throws a lot of breaking pitches out of the bullpen and you have guys available that aren't very good breaking ball hitters, then you try to find the guy that's the best matchup for you. Apparently he feels that Reed Johnson gives the Cubs the best chance in this situation.
And he gets hit to load the bases.
We've seen LeCure throw a lot of pitches inside, and we know Reed Johnson's not afraid to take one for the team. Maybe that's why it was pinch hitting.
In limited action, he's already been hit 3 times. Fisher up yet again. It's the 3rd time he's gotten loose. Well, we lost another of the greats, Sparky Anderson, the Hall of Fame manager. And the man who skippered those Red Machine teams in the 70s. So the Reds are honoring him this year with Sparky on their right sleeve.
Well, you could count on Sparky Anderson every spring giving you a quote about a young ball player. If you don't like this guy, then you don't like baseball. Every year there was one prospect in camp, whether it was with the Tigers or the Reds. If you don't like this guy, then you don't like baseball.
Chris Pitaro and Torey Lovello. Remember those guys in Detroit. Yep. Called strike on Fukudome. Huge moment in this game. Cubs trail by a run, but they have 3 on with nobody out. They had him loaded with nobody out in the 4th and could only get 1. Check swing foul. single, a walk, an RBI single, and a hit batter. That's how this inning began. And it's hooked foul to right. Not bad after an 0-2 count. It is fastball outside.
Hernandez moving way out there off the plate on the outside corner. That would tell me that's just a show me pitch. They just wanted to give Fukudome a fastball to gauge the speed somewhere where he couldn't hit it, and then probably come back with an off speed pitch, or at least come back to the inside part of the plate.
That's what they do, and they get him. A big one for LeCure, and now a ground ball double play gets him out of it.
It was a little harder to tell with Edinson Volquez on the mound because his command was so spotty today, but LeCure has pretty good control, and when they throw a pitch that far off of the outside corner, it's probably to set up the next pitch.
Boy, the Cubs have had a ton of base runners today. 7 hits, 4 walks, a hit batter. Another guy reached on an error. And it's Darwin Barney taking ball 1 on a slider. Cubs have had more chances. Tying run at third, that's Pena. Soto at second, the go-ahead run. And Reed Johnson at first. The kick and the 1-0 pitch, 2-0. It puts Barney in the driver's seat with the bases loaded.
And LeCure really tried to overthrow that fastball. Chases Barney out of there, up and in.
A pop up.
Get out of here.
And Hernandez has all kinds of room. He gets him on a 2-0 foul out to the catcher. And that'll leave it up to Starlin Castro.
We talk about it all the time. 2-0, 3-1, or on those rare occasions you get the green light 3-0. You look for one pitch in one zone. I find it hard to believe that's the one pitch Darwin Barney was looking for. 2-0.
Well, on so many occasions, Starlin Castro has come through early on in the season. His team needs him here with 2 outs. The Cubs have had 4 very frustrating innings, and they've scored in all 4. That's kind of a weird thing to say, but in all of those innings, you feel like they could have had more, and I would include this one, which isn't over yet.
It's like taking one bite of a large pizza. You know, you got a chance to really gorge yourself, but come away with just 1 run in each of those innings.
0-2. They have scored in this inning, but after that happened, they had them loaded with nobody out. Why am I hungry all of a sudden?
Everything comes back to pizza.
I thought that might happen after Castro chased a high one. They tried to go up the ladder even higher.
That's a similar pattern we saw Edinson Volquez try to use against Starlin Castro. Get ahead in the count and keep going up higher with each successive pitch.
Mateo's been up for a while. Sean Marshall has joined him, depending on what happens with Castro. At the moment, the Cubs trail by a run, but that could change. Chopper to Renteria. Throw to first, and the Reds escape as the Cubs can only get one. It's 5-4 after 6. Scoring position, and they've stranded 8 through 6. So the good news is they've scored in 4 different innings, but only single runs, and they trail as right-hander Marcos Mateo becomes the first Cub reliever to work today.
With the exception of the long ball to Jay Bruce, a pretty solid outing by Matt Garza today. Unfortunately, the home run came with a couple of Red teammates on base.
So Garza gave up 5 in his 6. Edinson Volquez in 5+, 4 runs, 3 earned. Chicago native, former light heavyweight world champion boxer, current world ranked contender David Dangerous Diaz will conduct the 7th inning stretch. 2-0 on Drew Stubbs. We've said it a lot when the Cubs have trailed. The key here is to have the bullpen hold them. And they have done that. 2-1. Cubs pen now with a sub-3 ERA, 2.98. Only ranks them 8th among National League pens. The Padres at 228, the Pirates at 244, and then the Florida Marlins at 2.72. Astros struggling with their pen with a 524, and they're now without their closer. Brandon Lyon, he has a partially torn rotator cuff and biceps tendonitis. Swing and a miss, strike 3 as Mateo comes back and gets Stubbs.
Good bounce back that time by Marcos Mateo after falling behind 2-0 to a home run hitter at the top of the Reds order, able to come back and punch him out with a good fastball right on the corner.
Andre Ethier back in the Dodger lineup in New York tonight. He was scratched against the Cubs Wednesday because of left elbow inflammation. He will carry a 29-game hitting streak into that contest at Citi Field. Hiroki Kuroda against left-hander John Neese. 1-1 to Renteria, who has scored twice. Roy Oswalt was to return to the Phillies rotation tomorrow, but that has been scrapped due to a back problem. Derek Lowe and Cliff Lee tonight, Braves and Phillies. Three-two pitch. He walked him on a close one.
Just a tad off of that outside corner.
And it'll be Sean Marshall against Joey Votto when we return. For the series finale, Johnny Cueto, coming off the disabled list, will make his season debut for the Reds. Back right biceps and triceps irritation. Ryan Dempster for the Cubs at 1 for the leadoff man on WGN. Sean Marshall had just 1 walk, 14 strikeouts, and no home runs. Runner at first, 1 out. Joey Votto takes a breaking ball for a strike.
Votto 2 for 9 lifetime against Sean Marshall. Does have a home run. It came very early on in these respective matchups.
Oh, and 2 on the swing. It was the Cubs' last game, but they had an off day in between. Kick in the 0-2. He struck him out.
Sean Marshall wins this matchup. Big curve ball, then a fastball, then a slider. This time the front door slider. Joey Votto swinging right through.
Here comes Phillips, who's 1 out of 3 with an RBI. Kind of looks like Johnny Gomes if he were to home it up. Would just probably not love to sit directly behind his hair. Might be a problem.
Well, as long as he faces straight forward, you should be okay. But
yeah.
if he turns his head to the side, it's not good.
Runner goes and a bouncer back to Marshall. Nicely done. We will sing the stretch with David Diaz.
Today's guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, former lightweight world champion boxer David Diaz.
All right, now, this one's for Harry and Ron. Let me hear you. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I never get back, for it's root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame, for it's one at the old game. Let's get some runs.
Five 4 Cincinnati. We get into the bottom of the 7th. Chicago native and a North Side guy, David Dangerous Diaz. You hear, I'm a lover, not a fighter, but for you, David, you're a fighter, not a singer, as you were telling us during the break.
Exactly. Like I told you guys before, I'd rather fight 20 rounds than do this. I mean, it was nerve-wracking, honestly.
Now that it's over, as Ramirez takes a strike, did you enjoy it?
I sure did. It's a beautiful view up here, and it's I envy your guys' job.
I would say I envy you, although ducking jabs and uppercuts is something only a few can do, and a few can do well, and you have done it well.
Well, I've been blessed with, I guess, my talent of fighting, and I've been doing it since I was 8 years old, and loved it. I just didn't know what else to do.
Did you have a mentor, somebody that kind of guided you when you were young and got you into the business?
Well, the thing was that my dad was the one who got me into boxing, and I fell in love with that sport ever since I went up in there and laced him up and started fighting.
So you took some time off, as we see the pitch that got Ramirez.
Yeah.
And your comeback fight was in January, and what's up next for you?
Oh, well, we're hopefully trying to get a fight in either June or July against a top-rated fighter, because we want to get back up there and hopefully strap on that belt again. on my waist, and hopefully we can do that this year.
Lifelong Cub fan?
Yes, sir.
Favorite player?
Definitely Jody Davis.
All right.
Yeah,
nice.
number
Jody.
7. Yeah.
High in the air, and that ball's not going to carry well enough for Soriano as Stubbs makes a catch.
Jody Davis, back catcher, number 7. My birthday, so I like the guy.
Have you ever met Jody?
No, never met him.
You got to come back out. He comes out all the time and sings. Good man.
Yeah, me and my dad used to watch the games, and we were in Spanish. We would call him El Colorado. It means redhead. So that's the guy we chose.
Here's Marlon Byrd with 2 outs. Did you give yourself the nickname Dangerous? Or
No.
did somebody else drop that on you?
I'm not dangerous whatsoever. I'm a nice guy to get along with, everything.
But in the ring, you're supposed to be dangerous,
yeah,
right?
it's supposed to be dangerous. That was actually my manager who wanted a name, or he's like, everybody needs a little stick or anything, a name. I'm like, I'm really against it. I didn't want it, and he's like, we have to do it. I'm like, all right. After like the 15th fight with him, I was like, all right, just do it. And that was it. So it stuck, and people, recognize me every time they say, dangerous. So I guess it works.
2 strikes to Byrd. And that's a little bit outside. You always got to worry about your weight.
Yeah.
And what you do, but you come to the ballpark and there are a lot of temptations here.
Oh, so many.
We've already tried a few.
So many all the time. But it's just discipline, and
Well, we may need to call you about discipline, because Bob and I have been very undisciplined in the food department this year. But David, we look forward to your next bout.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Nice job today.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Rain as we get into the 8th. Jay Bruce bunts foul. Big hit of the game. A go-ahead 3-run homer back in the 4th inning.
And this is our BMW ultimate drive of the game, the 7th home run of the season for Jay Bruce. It was a 3-run bomb into the bleachers in right field. Our BMW ultimate drive brought to you by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana BMW dealers. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Having said that, at this point, with still a lot of baseball to be played, I think the player of the game is Sam LeCure. I mean, he came in, and after struggling with the strike zone, totally put out the fire in the 6th, and then worked a 1-2-3 7th to really settle things down for the Reds pitching staff. Bruce bounces foul. Soriano comes in. Well, that ball was knuckling on him. Double switch time as Mike Quade goes right to the home plate umpire Vic Carpazza. We're going to see Kerry Wood and Tyler Colvin come into the game. So Soriano, who just made that catch, is done for the afternoon. And it'll be Kerry Wood against Johnny Gomes. Ninth spot and playing left. And on the 13th anniversary of one of the greatest games on the mound in Cubs history, Kerry Wood
picked up his first victory of the season on Tuesday night in Los Angeles. Pitched a scoreless 8th inning, and then the Cubs busted loose for 3 in the top of the 9th. His first win as a Cub since September 18th of 2008.
Ball 1 to Gomes. Strike 1. 1-1. It says 20. KW for Kerry Wood. May 6th, 1998, 20 strikeouts against Houston. Wood is 6'5", 210. "33 years old. Shadow center, and it's Marlon Byrd.
Well, then I think back to that game that Kerry Wood struck out the 20 Astros, and it reminded me of the first time I was playing Little League ball when you face a pitcher that knows how to throw a curveball. You know, at that age, most kids throw the ball straight and, you know, try to throw strikes as best they can. But that first game you bump up against a big, strong kid that can throw a curveball, and it was against a big league lineup. Those Astros were just absolutely helpless against him that day. Some funny looking swings. Guys were bailing out of the batter's box, and the balls were breaking back into the strike zone. When they did hang in against Woody and try to swing at it, they weren't coming close to making contact.
2-0. I forget how young he was and looked. And in the post-game interview, his hand was shaking. Be the rookie of the year that year. Base hit for Ramon Hernandez. It's 1 for 4. Brings up Giannis for the 4th time. Twins are in Boston tonight. We had mentioned that matchup before the season. Said on May 6th they would battle. You'd say, well, probably both teams will be in first place. Well, that's not the case. Both teams are under 500. Twins are 11-18. And in 4th, Boston tied for 4th in the East at 14-17. Scott Baker and Tim Wakefield. And the White Sox are out west. They're 10 games under. And as you know, Bob, you take those long West Coast trips. They'll be at Seattle, the Angels, and the A's. 9 games. It's not easy to get it back. I mean, you go out there, if you said 4-5 or 5-4, would you take it right now? Most teams would say yes. You would gladly take that sort of record on a 9-game trip.
I think at this point the White Sox would be content to come back 3-6 on that trip if they started hitting the ball and scoring some runs. There just has been no sign after the first week of the season that they can get it going offensively.
Shallow center again. Marlon Byrd again. And the inning is over. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. 5-4 Cincy. Pena, Soto, and Colvin due up for the Cubs. And this is right-hander Nick Massett.
Massett has kind of an odd combination of pitches. Has a good fastball. He also throws a cut fastball. He'll mix in a curve and an occasional split finger. 16th game of the season for the Reds right-hander.
Chris Heisey is in to play left. Johnny Gomes. But here's Pena. A foul back to the screen. Pena has tied his career high with 3 walks. 18 times in his career he's had a 3-walk game. That's not that surprising. He was a very patient approach at the plate. Bassett ready, gets a sign from Hernandez, and here comes his 1-1. Drops in a breaking ball for strike 2.
Mentioned fastball, cutter, curve, splitter. This is the curve. It's not where the catcher catches it. It's where it crosses the front of home plate, and that time just does catch the bottom of the strike zone.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Came back with the splitter that time. Right on the outside corner. Pena a little bit out in front of that pitch. Ideally, that split finger fastball is designed to have some downward movement and get ground balls when contact is made, but at worst it serves as a good straight changeup.
Two 2-0 to Soto. Cubs trail by only a run. And had opportunities throughout this day. Two on in the second, 1 in the third, fourth, and fifth. Left the bases loaded in the 6th. Outside corner. 3-1.
I don't think it was, Len. We talked about that book I'm reading, Scorecasting, and it talks about 3-0 pitches and 0-2 pitches and how often umpires call 3-0 pitches out of the zone strike 1. That was a perfect example of it right there as the count went to 3-1, and Gio now pops up to Brandon Phillips.
Kind of close enough. We'll give it to you.
Yeah. And 0-2 pitches, occasionally strikes will be called balls because you want the batter to swing the bat. You want some action to happen. I'll delve into that a little bit more and bring you back the actual statistic of the studies that were done over a long period of time.
Swing and a miss by Tyler Colvin. Checked his swing that time. First at bat today. Heard on the leadoff man. Mike Quaddy's trying to find more time for Colvin, but he's off to a slow start, and other guys have been hot. Alfonso Soriano leads the majors in home runs. Kosuke Fukudome has been essentially entrenched in the leadoff spot. Against righties as Colvin strikes out. It's a 1-2-3-8 for Massive. Mark Sapelsa, Lourdes Duarte, Tom Skilling will have the WGN News at 5 o'clock. Chris Heisey swings at the first pitch, and Marlon Byrd, who's been busy here the last couple of innings, will make the grab. Heisey's first AB. Justin Berg is a righty. James Russell back in the bullpen, being the Cubs' fifth starter. Cubs won't need a fifth starter for a little over a week. The off day yesterday and another one coming up on Monday. And there's Coco Cordero, the Reds' closer. Called strike 3-1. Bounding ball right to Darwin Barney. Stubbs gets down the line fast, doesn't he?
He really does. Long strides, really covers a lot of ground in a short period of time. It really shows up in the outfield when he's shagging balls out there in the gaps in right and left center. But this is a routine ground ball to second base. He's busting it down the line the whole way. Had to slow up a little bit at the end there to avoid Carlos Pena, who had to stretch back into the baseline to make the play. And then we gave you the shot of Berg and Russell throwing down in the Cubs bullpen. I think this is just more of a case that they need to get a little throwing in. Both guys last pitched on Monday in Los Angeles, and unless Kerry Wood really gets into some pitch count issues, I think they're just throwing to get some work in.
Three and one. That's a strike. 95 on that fastball. Struck him out. Kerry Wood. An inning and 2/3. Cubs trail by 1 to the bottom of the ninth. In a game of opportunities, they trail 5-4, and they'll have the top of the order due up against Francisco Cordero. Reds bullpen, actually both bullpens have been excellent.
Fastball, slider, changeup mix from Cordero. He will throw a lot of sliders, or he has thrown a lot of sliders already this year. Starts Kosuke with a changeup off the plate, low and away. Kosuke with 7 previous plate appearances against the Reds closer, has a couple of base hits and 3 walks.
2-0.
Take a walk right now.
Cubs closer Marmol is up in case this one gets to the 10th. Cordero, 3-time All-Star, turned 36 this coming Wednesday. 4th on the Reds all-time saves list, 22nd on the all-time Major League list. 116 with Cincinnati, 294 overall. Three and one. We'd love to get that leadoff man on. That gives you so many more options. Three and two.
Good to be right at the bottom of the strike zone. Once again, not where Hernandez catches it, where it crosses the front of the plate. Right at the knees.
There's ball 4. That's a good start. Giannis pulled in at third. You've got Votto holding on Fukudome at first. Barney already squaring. And takes it low. Handles the bat so well. He did foul out to the catcher on a 2-0 earlier with the bases loaded. That's a strike. Not too many times, Bob, in a game against a good team like Cincinnati do you get as many second, third, fourth chances as the Cubs have had.
Hopefully another opportunity here with a leadoff walk to Fukudome.
Strike 2.
But sometimes when you assume that bunting stance, it kind of changes your view of the strike zone. Darwin Barney's taken a couple of pitches that he thought were well inside. They both caught the inside corner.
In the dirt. Move to make that play.
Took another pickoff attempt. Kosuke has yet to attempt a stolen base this season.
And Cordero will turn the easy double play as Barney lines out to the pitcher. And Kosuke caught in no man's land. Just like that, 2 outs.
Buzzard luck. Ball hit hard right back up the middle of the field. Cordero, to his credit, fields his position well. Kosuke saw the ball off the bat. He's reading base hit into center field all the way, and Cordero was able to make that catch. It turns into an easy double play.
Well, how did he get his glove around in time to make that catch? Here's Castro, 2 outs, nobody on, and ball 1. A 1-0 pitch. 2-0, and Cordero asking for a new baseball. Pop foul out of play. Today's Budweiser plays of the game. Go to the 6th inning. We mentioned Sam LeCure, probably the MVP in this game for the Reds at this point. Bases loaded, nobody out, and he kept the Reds in the lead in the 6th. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Slider missed off the plate. 3-1. Ramirez on deck, and remember what Aramis did a few years ago against Cordero when he was with Milwaukee. First pitch slider, home run, Cubs win. Fly ball to right. Bruce going back on the warning track. He's going to have enough real estate, and the Reds hold off the Cubs in game 1. The final score today, the Reds 5, the Cubs 4. We'll have more from Wrigley Field after this.